Bam! Imagine this. Cletus McFarland, the wild, unstoppable internet legend, has just shaken up NASCAR like a tornado in a trailer park. What he's cooked up now is bigger than any YouTube video or backyard burnout. And guess what? A real NASCAR team, yes, a real one, just decided for McFarland after huge performance changes everything. Hold on to your helmets, because this ride is just beginning. We all know how Cletus turned Stafford Speedway into a carnival on wheels with the New England 900. He didn't bring fancy cars or big budgets. Instead, he dropped Crown Victoria cars on the track, some with nitrous, some with train horns, and made short track racing feel like a party. Thousands of fans came out and it felt less like a normal race and more like a show. And suddenly, everyone wanted in. It wasn't about winning or losing. It was about smiling and roaring engines and cheering like you just saw your favorite superhero fly. It reminded us that racing isn't just about gears and lap times. It's about personality, rivalry, and that goosebumps moment when you feel something in your heart. Traditional short-track racing just doesn't bring that same vibe anymore. Drivers jump in, race, and rush off, leaving no stories behind. But at the New England 900, those Crown Vics hitting curves with train horns blaring, that's the kind of wild you don't forget. Now fast forward. Word on the track is that Ram, yes, the Ram truck brand, is seriously considering a return to the NASCAR Truck Series. They haven't been full-time in the scene for over a decade, letting Ford, Chevrolet, and Toyota reign. But now, rambling in, pun intended, Ram might roar back, and Cletus McFarland could be right there in the middle of it. That possibility alone lit up headlines, because it's not just about engines. It's about bringing a whole new crowd to the grandstands. A big name brand plus a YouTube fireball equals a storm of attention. NASCAR officials would love that. More brands mean more rivalry, more sponsors, and more fans. So here's the hype. Cletus might drive a Ram truck. He might show up part-time. He might just be the hype person behind the scenes. He could do all kinds of things. Race, film, post, promote. But a full-time season? That's 25 grueling races from February to November. And it's not just the races themselves. Practice, qualifying, travel, it's a year of work. Maybe too much of a year if you're trying to shoot videos, run events, and keep your fans entertained in tons of other ways. Still, his promotional power is massive. He has millions of followers, and his energy could pull younger fans, kids, teens, and anyone who loves wild stunts, to NASCAR in a way nothing else could. Videos, behind-the-scenes clips, creative truck content, it could reshape the sport's fan base. Okay, so here's the moment. A NASCAR team, wildly, secretly, maybe in a closed meeting full of champagne and spilled energy drinks, just made their decision. They looked at Cletus's wild New England 900 performance, the crowds, the noise, the pure energy, and thought, yeah, that's our ticket to life. They didn't worry that he might break rules or tear up tires. They saw the spark. The same way fans cheer for a hero or boo a villain, this team wants that emotion. They want the stories. They want the electric chaos. They decided they'll sign McFarland. Not just as a joke, not just as a guest star. He'll be part of their team. Picture this. Crews in fireproof suits bursting into the garage, heads turning at a Crown Vic paint job. Suddenly, there's wild graphics and logos, maybe a hint of nitrous, and a shout into their radios. McFarland's in the house. And the fans? They'll flood the seats. They'll bring friends. They'll record it on their phones. It'll be a show. And it all started with that goofy, playful, rebellious New England 900. Because when racing loses its personality, nobody notices. But when Cletus brings the fun back, the stands roar and sponsors open wallets. So yes, you read that right. McFarland didn't just host a spectacle. He forced real NASCAR teams to sit up and say, that's our guy. And their decision? It's a game changer. From here, everything changes. The energy, the makeup of the series, and how fans see NASCAR. It isn't just about horsepower anymore. It's about character, connection, and chaos done right. But hold up. Before we crown McFarland the savior of NASCAR, we've got to talk about the fallout. Because when one man changes the rules of the game, not everyone claps. Behind the scenes, whispers have already started echoing through garages and boardrooms. Some teams aren't thrilled. They've spent years chasing sponsorships, fighting for airtime, building driver resumes the hard way. Now suddenly, a guy with a YouTube channel, Crown Vics, and a massive fan base walks into the room and gets the call-up? One anonymous team member reportedly said, "It's like skipping the line at Daytona. We bust our tails out here, and now we've got to compete with memes and train horns." And honestly, you can't blame them. This isn't how NASCAR has ever worked. You don't go from burnout contests to national broadcast races. But that's the thing. Maybe that's exactly why it's working. Fans aren't showing up just for lap times anymore. They want to feel something. They want characters. They want that drama where one driver calls out another, where someone slams the door after a race, or tosses a water bottle in fury. McFarland brings that emotion without even trying. When he's in the paddock, the crowd doesn't just cheer. They lean forward, waiting to see what wild thing happens next. And NASCAR? NASCAR needs that. The Cup Series may be the big leagues, but the Truck Series is where risks can be tested. And this is the biggest risk in a decade. Think about it. If Ram partners with McFarland and the plan works, it could flip everything. A whole new audience, maybe even kids who've never watched a race before, might start tuning in. Sponsors would shift focus. Other manufacturers might jump back in. Suddenly, NASCAR's not just trying to survive, it's expanding, evolving, becoming something more than what it was. But that's if it works. And that's a huge if. Because here's the gamble. What if it doesn't? What if McFarland crashes out? What if the fans get bored? What if his content schedule pulls him away? Or a real Truck Series driver ends up resenting sharing the spotlight? The moment he signs that deal, the pressure flips. Now he's not just the showman, he's expected to perform, on the track, under NASCAR rules, in a field full of drivers who've trained their whole lives for this. And if he can't hang, the critics will pounce. But for now, let's talk about the fans, the real ones. The diehards who've watched the Truck Series since before Cletus even owned a GoPro. Some of them love it. They see a new era forming, something exciting, something fresh. One fan on social media wrote, "Cletus gets it. Racing should be fun. I'd rather watch his Crown Vic race than another cookie-cutter mile-and-a-half snoozer." But others? They're not sold. "It's a circus," one longtime fan tweeted. "He's not a racer, he's a personality. This isn't WWE, this is NASCAR." And there it is, the real divide. Is NASCAR a sport, or is it a show? The truth? It's both. It always has been. Back in the day, Dale Earnhardt didn't just race, he built a story. Rusty Wallace didn't just win, he made fans feel something. The best moments in NASCAR weren't always photo finishes. They were fights, feuds, bold moves, and unforgettable quotes. And that's the energy McFarland is bringing back. So now, as McFarland stares down this opportunity, the question is, will he go all in? Will he take on a full season, putting his entire content empire at risk just to prove he belongs? Or will he play it smart, stay part-time, and double down on being the bridge between racing and entertainment? Either way, the team made their decision. McFarland is part of their future, and the NASCAR world is watching. Some with excitement, others with skepticism, but everyone's watching. Because love him or hate him, Cletus McFarland has done something no driver's done in years. He made NASCAR unpredictable again. So here's the final question I'll leave you with. Is Cletus saving the sport or turning it into a circus? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you're ready for more chaos, more controversy, and more drama from the heart of NASCAR, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button.